All right, let's begin. Tonight, we're not just going to tell a story. No, we're going to witness a myth unfold. Think of this as a theatrical journey, right into the very heart of a cosmic conflict, a parable of fire and law. So let's dive right into the ashes. We're starting the story at its end, in the quiet aftermath of a total catastrophe. A world of gods has been turned to cinders, their grand halls have collapsed, and only a single, silent figure is left standing. So what's its story? That's the mystery we're unraveling tonight. And like any great drama, our tale has a structure. Here's our playbill for this cosmic performance. We're going to follow our protagonist through 5 parts, from a frozen beginning to a fiery end, and then we'll see what rises from the ashes. And so the curtain rises. Prologue, the silent rhyme. We're opening in a time before time itself. Just try to picture a universe of absolute cold, of perfect stillness, and an order that never, ever changes. So this initial state of being, it has a name, the iron rhyme. You can think of it as the universe just holding its breath, a frozen void, kind of like the Jinn and Gagap from the old myths. It's perfect order, sure, but it's totally stagnant. It's the law of ice, brittle, absolute, and completely lifeless. And right there, in that frozen emptiness, we meet our main character. But it's not the Specter yet, not even close. At this point, it's simply an arbiter of stasis. Its entire job, keep everything frozen, to be the sentinel against the chaos that's always threatening to bubble up and dissolve everything. But you know, stillness can't last forever, right? So, welcome to Act 1, The Crimson Spark. This is the moment everything flips, the inciting incident that shatters all that ice and gets this whole myth rolling. I want you to picture this like a single, stunning frame from a graphic novel. Our arbiter, this guardian of ice, reaches out and touches the one thing that's its complete opposite, a primal spark of fire, stolen from Muspelheim, the realm of the fire giants. And that single touch, it infects it, it blesses it, it changes it forever. So what exactly is this crimson spark? Well, it's way more than just heat. It's the paradox of change itself. It's the energy of both creation and destruction, all wrapped up in one. When the spark enters the arbiter, chaos floods into its ordered world. It's not a being of pure law anymore. Now it's the red specter carrying this volatile, powerful burden of fire. And now we enter Act 2, the trial of the gods. The Specter has been transformed, and it's forced to face the powers that be. And what it finds? Well, it's an order that is deeply, fundamentally broken. So the Specter shows up in the halls of the Aesir, right? The old gods, ruled by Wotan. And as the silent observer, it starts to see the truth behind their power. It sees a system of law built not on justice, but on broken promises. It watches the dynamic between Wotan, the god of rules, and Luge, the god of fire and cunning, who makes all the dirty deals happen. And it gets it. Every single one of Wotan's bargains has a hidden cost, something corrosive eating away at the core. These gods, they're blinded by their own architectural vanity. They're so proud of their big fortress Valhalla, they don't even notice its foundations are completely rotten. And this right here, this is the heart of the conflict. On one side, you've got Wotan's spear. It stands for law as total control. It's a power that tries to bottle up and command everything, even the elements. Wotan literally uses Loge's fire to trap his own daughter, Brunhilde, a wall of flame that both protects and imprisons her. But on the other side, you have the Specter's flame. It looks at Wotan's law and just sees stagnation. For the Specter, chaos isn't just random destruction. No, it's a necessary agent of change. It's the force that comes in and purges everything that's stagnant and refuses to grow. And then there's Loge. He's the ultimate outsider, right? He looks at all the pride and pomp of the gods with this cynical, detached eye. While they're marching triumphantly into Valhalla, he's quietly predicting their downfall. And our red specter, it becomes the living embodiment of that cold, accurate prophecy. It learns the fundamental lesson here. Any system, no matter how magnificent it looks, is doomed to crumble if it's built on lies and hypocrisy. So what do you think happens when a being of pure, transformative fire meets an order that refuses to change? Well, the trial ends in rejection, of course. The Aesir can't understand the Specter. They can't control it, so they just cast it out. And just like that, it becomes an exile, walking a lonely path, now completely convinced that the way of the gods is a dead end. And that brings us to the climax.
Act 3, Architect of Ash. Now exiled, totally alone, the Specter just has to watch as the old order inevitably tears itself apart. And in that moment, it has to choose its real purpose.
This really maps out the Specter's whole philosophical arc. It's seen both extremes, and it rejects them both. First, it rejects the suffocating, rigid law of the gods. But second, it also rejects the pointless, mindless chaos of pure destruction. Instead, it carves out this middle path. It decides to embrace destruction, but only necessary destruction. It becomes a conscious agent of cosmic rebirth. See, this isn't about power or decay anymore. It's about finding purpose in the cycle itself.
And then, in this moment of supreme, tragic irony, the Specter watches as Wotan, the great champion of order, becomes the one who unleashes total chaos. In the final twilight of the gods, Götterdämmerung, Wotan literally turns his spear, the symbol of his law, on his old friend Loge. He stabs the fire god, just to unleash the flames that will burn down everything he ever built.
And with that one last, desperate act of betrayal, the fire rages, Valhalla burns. The age of the gods is officially over, an era ends.
And we really have to get this wasn't some accident. This was the system destroying itself from the inside out. The Specter sees it clearly. Wotan's attempt to master chaos was always going to lead to his own destruction. The fire was just fulfilling a destiny that was written into the flawed foundations of that world from the very beginning.
And so here we are, the final act, the epilogue, the ash and the seed. After the fire, after the silence, what is the Specter's ultimate role in all of this?
As the smoke finally settles over the ruins, the Specter isn't standing there like some triumphant conqueror or a vengeful spirit. No, it stands there as a custodian. It accepts its true purpose, which isn't to rule, but to be the silent architect of the cosmic cycle itself. And this brings us to the Specter's true identity, the necessary gardener. And what a brilliant idea that is. Its fire isn't an act of malice, it's cultivation. It's clearing away the dead wood, the overgrown, stagnant parts of the forest, so that new life, the seeds of a new world, can finally get some sunlight and take root in the fertile ash. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, that sometimes for something new to grow, the old has to be cleared away.
And so, the journey is complete. The being that started as a silent guardian of the frozen iron rime has now become the keeper of the crimson spark. The cycle has turned. Destruction has wiped the slate clean, creating a blank canvas. And the transition from ash to new growth can finally begin, all watched over by its silent guardian.
Which leaves us with one last thing to chew on. Because this is more than just a cool myth about gods and fire, right? It's a story about the great sweeping cycles of change. So the question it leaves for us is this. If destruction is the price of creation, what old, stagnant structures in our own world might need to burn away? And what new worlds are just waiting to be born from their ashes?